Hey everyone, I'm Neal. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Flags Only, your home for flag football news and stories. Recording this on Thursday, June 18th, and I don't want to sound hyperbolic, but today might be one of the craziest days in flag football news. I have three stories coming to you today, two of which just broke today. Um, I'll say that they broke across social media and my news desk. By news desk, I mean just me and my laptop. But these are huge stories, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So, story number one, just today, or maybe late last night, the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, the NAIA or NAIA, as I say in my head, they announced that they had approved women's flag football as a championship sport, the 30th in NAIA's history. So this is huge. And let me give it a bit of background about why this matters and what NAIA is. So we all know the NCAA, and I would say that NAIA is a very similar structure and organization to the NCAA. They just target smaller colleges, but still, they have NAIA has 235 member institutions, and it covers about 83,000 student athletes. And NAIA has really been on the forefront of women's flag football at the collegiate level. So a lot of the big names you see, a lot of the big universities and tournaments that are happening have been happening in the NAIA conferences. It has been up until now at the invitational level, but now they have officially started the process to transfer to championship status. So all the big colleges, the big names you see involved in flag football, really like Ottawa University in Kansas, Thomas University of Georgia, Kaiser University, Warner University, who just is the most recent winner of the Invitational for NAIA. These are all the biggest flag football programs. A lot of the student athletes there. Some of them compete for the team for Team USA at the international level, and so NAIA moving to officially make this a championship sport is really, really important. And what that means is that it has moved from emerging sport to invitational, now up to championship status, which really formalizes a lot of things. So there is going to be a national championship event. There's going to be formal qualifications, and with that comes the full administrative structure of rankings and awards and a postseason as well. And so we have talked about how the NCAA is probably going to be moving very quickly, very shortly to sanctioning girls' flag football, women's flag football as a championship sport as well. But NAIA is ahead of them here. And we can expect that the first championship season will be the next season, the 2026 to 2027 academic year. So that by my calendar, it is June, so that will be this fall. So happening very quickly, but that's huge. It is very, very cool to see us go from 0 to 1. We go from emerging sport to invitational, now to championship status. NCAA is going to be well on its way, but this means scholarships. This means television rights and all of that stuff. So very cool to see. That's story number one. And not to be outdone, and I should say that I actually recorded this podcast, this episode, and then I was about to publish it, and then I saw the news break for this next story on Instagram, so I had to re-record it. But what I saw is that IFAF, so the International Federation of American Football, these are the folks that run the World IFAF game. So, for example, the one in August this year in Dusseldorf, IFAF organizes that. They are really the organizational body for flag football at the international level. They are partnering with Tomorrow Sports. They just announced this new partnership. And as a reminder, Tomorrow Sports is the firm that has partnered with the NFL to launch the pro leagues next year. So Tomorrow Sports has, I think, about $192 million in its war chest to develop these pro leagues for men and for women. And now they are partnering with IFAF which is the organizational body for pro flag football at the international level. The press release was really, really light on details. So I'm going to be honest, I have like no idea exactly what the partnership entails, what they're discussing. They probably are just figuring that out literally right now. But we can speculate. I mean, who doesn't want to guess at what they're doing? And so if IFAF, which is the international body, is partnering up with Tomorrow Sports, which is partnering with NFL to launch the pro leagues, I assume, which are going to be mostly domestic here in the US, and maybe Canada or something, it would be cool to see what kind of, I'm going to use some like techie words here, but like synergies and other things that they come up with to try to, kind of intermingle and tie together pro leagues in the States, North America, but then internationally as well. Like, will we see professional competitions outside of just the IFAF World Championship, outside of the Olympics in 2028? I think all this stuff is possible. The sky's the limit. There's no rules about it, right? Like they can do effectively anything, any cool idea you can think of, they could implement. So, I mean, those two stories alone, each one of those deserves probably its own podcast, a ton of attention. Again, I don't have a lot of detail about the IFAF Tomorrow Sports partnership yet. I don't know if they even know. But wow, so NAIA championship sport status official, and Tomorrow Sports teaming up with IFAF. And then the third story, this broke maybe 10 or so days ago, and maybe not as huge, but still really, really important. And that is that Eli Manning's firm, Brand Velocity Group, bought the operator of NFL flag RCX Sports. So just to clarify what that means, so the NFL owns, this is my understanding, the NFL owns the NFL flag brand, but then RCX Sports until now has been the operator of it. So running the whole infrastructure, all the tournaments, all the programs, etc. And now Eli Manning's firm, Brand Velocity Group, has bought RCX Sports. So this sounds like Brand Velocity Group is taking over management and operations of NFL Flag. NFL Flag being the NFL's youth pipeline and infrastructure for flag football. So, Brand Velocity Group, who I didn't know much about before, but they run a bunch of youth programs across major league sports. So, not just the NFL, but NBA, hockey, soccer, baseball. They do it all. They were named one of the most innovative companies last year, and so just in terms of looking at that avalanche of evidence that we're talking about, and the $192 million from all these investment firms investing in flag football pro leagues. Now we have Eli Manning's firm taking over operations of NFL flag. We're seeing those pipelines being built at the youth level, that base layer, that foundation that's going to feed into colleges. Now we have NAIA as a championship, having flag football as a championship sport. That's, the NCAA is right around the corner. We have 23 states, including DC, that have officially sanctioned high school flag football. So this is this is just crazy. I mean, what we're seeing is really, really fun to watch. That's all. That's it's just fun. Like this is just so cool that we're getting to watch this. I'm sounding kind of goofy right now, but like this is just such a good time, and getting to watch this, getting to report on it is super cool. And I think I've been starting to practice of thanking people at the beginning of my podcast. I realized I forgot to do that because I was so excited. So I'll end with a thank you, and I just want to thank all the student athletes and administrators and coaches and assistants who were in the NAIA programs and at these universities doing flag football, all the people at the club level, so not varsity, but club level, who are putting in the work and are really passionate about this, and how, it seems like all the institutional frameworks are slower to follow, but it's all happening, and everything we're seeing is built on the shoulders of all these student athletes and coaches and administrators and assistants who care about this, who care about flag football, and want to see it become the best, biggest version that it can be. So Thank you to everyone out there who's putting in the work. That's it for me today. What a day. Let's remember this one for a while, June 18th, 2026. All right, everyone. Thank you.